All right, as the update continues, we're down here at the Tomah Museum on the 18th of May, which just happens to be National Museum Day and also National Museum Week. And joining us is Roger Blakely. Roger, you're down here for book signing today. We want to talk about your first two books in a moment, but currently in Tomah, but not originally from Tomah. Talk about that for me.
Yes, sir. I'm an active duty Army Chief Warrant Officer. I'm stationed out here at Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, down the street. And I grew up in Ohio, joined the Army 32 years ago.
Wow.
And now I've got a series of books about a retired Army man. There's 4 books in the series, and the first 2 are out in paperback now, Chief and Arena. And Chief is actually set here in Tomah and Fort McCoy and across. In fact, one of the main characters stays at a local hotel down the street, the Cranberry Lodge. And the book is about a 50-something-year-old retiree who's had a quiet life in the Army for 30-something years. But as soon as he retires, he gets unexpected encounters with all kinds of criminals and terrorists and secret agents and spies and other villains. And the books came out in ebook form a couple years ago when they were so popular that we're making the leap to paperback now. So all 4 books, Chief, Arena, Scoundrel, and Night, will all be out in paperback this summer. And it's fun to have them in paperback and see people buying them and talking to each other about them and hearing from people. There's a lady in France that started a fan club. It's pretty funny. And she calls herself the president of the Artemus Newton French fan club. Artemus Newton is the main character in the books. And it's really fun. It's really fun to hear from people who've read them and to, especially fellow soldiers and their families. So there'll be a few of them people coming today too.
Oh, sure.
To the book signing.
All right, in the military for over 32 years, so what happens in Roger Blakely's life to say, hey, I also want to be an author? What happened to make that all come together?
It's good, but yeah, I've met a lot of really fascinating people in 32 years. You know, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, and some special forces people and people in the intelligence agencies. And I've always enjoyed reading thrillers, stuff like from Vince Flynn, Brad Thor, Jack Higgins, Clive Cussler. And I'm saying to myself, well, now I've actually been in the Army, and I know some of these people who do this stuff for real. I'm going to put together a series of novels. And so back in 2010, after work and on weekends, I started writing the first book, Chief, before I even moved to Tomah. And I stuck Tomah in there, and Fort McCoy, and some other areas. So it's fun.
And your books are available today for people that do come down here on this Saturday. You're giving them at half price.
Yeah, they're only $7 a copy today, and they're usually around 13 or so online at Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. The Book Blog is selling them too, and they're mainly available online at Barnes & Noble, Amazon, and other sites. But at book signings, get autographed copies for only $7 a piece. And there's another book signing next week at Fort McCoy.
They'll be out at Fort McCoy next weekend. Okay.
Next Saturday, yeah. But this one's the main event.
This is the biggie.
Yeah.
Okay, National Museum Day. We're talking with Roger Blakely down here at the Museum in Tomah on the 18th of May on Saturday. Roger, you kind of touched on how the idea came about for the book Chief, which will be signing down here at the museum today. Arena, give me a little background on how that came about.
Yeah, Arena takes place about 2 months after the events of Chief. In Chief, Artemus Newton has just retired from the Army, and he travels back to Germany to celebrate his 32-year career. And he's having dinner one night in Bamberg, Germany, and accidentally saves the life of a beautiful young CIA officer. And that's where the adventure begins. And at the end of the book, some of the criminals are very angry with what Artemus Newton did in Chief. So they come back in Arena for some revenge. And Arena happens 2 months later. Artemus Newton is still injured from Chief, but somehow him and his friends move on. And also another thing about the books, people who live in nursing homes play a big part in these books.
Oh,
Artemus Newton meets a 90-year-old World War II vet in Chief, and named Bill Hennick, and he's a big part of both books. And the third book too, which comes out in June, talks about a young Bill Hennick back in the 40s, simultaneously as things are happening now in the 21st century.
So Chief, Arena, and the other 2 books you have to come, they're all, tie them all together. It's like a series of books.
It's a series.
Okay.
You can read them apart from each other, but the first 3 books, Chief, Arena, and Scoundrel, are part of a trilogy. But you could read each one separately and still get what's happening because they're all intertwined.
How do you find time being in the military? How do you find time to sit down and write books like you have?
It's funny. I usually do this during winter time. This last winter we've had lots of time.
Right.
I usually start writing these books in October or so, on the evenings and on the weekends, and get done around February, and get them all edited and ready. So the next book is the 5th book. That won't come out until April next year, and I don't start planning on writing that until October or so.
Talking right now with Roger Blakely down here at the Tomah Museum on Saturday, the 18th of May, which happens to be National Museum Day, and it's also National Museum Week. Roger, a little background on yourself, family. Talk about that for me.
Yeah, I've got a cat. Named
Okay.
Newton. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, me and her live here in Tomah.
Okay.
And hopefully after these books take off, I'll find some nice wife and settle down in Ohio. Yeah, I'm waiting to find out if the Army will medically retire me because of a metal shoulder I've got,
Oh, sure.
or if I can just retire next year with 20 years. So we'll see. Go back to Ohio.
Okay, so you've been in Tomah for a while. What's your take on Tomah? You've been here for a while.
Yeah.
What's your take on it?
Yeah, I moved here, let's see, July of, there's an Army guy I work with. Yeah, I moved here in July of 2011
Okay.
for my final Army assignment. I like it a lot. It's a very nice, quiet town. And I lived in Chicago for 20-some years, and a lot of stuff to do down there. But it's fun to be up here in a small town, like Mayberry from Andy Griffith. And
So we know where Roger will be 5 years from now?
hopefully the Artemus Newton series will continue the
Okay.
success.
Okay.
And I can just keep on writing these books as long as I'm healthy.
You mentioned in a minute when you and I get done, we'll show your website. People can go to your website for more information, but you also said Barnes & Noble, among others, are where your books are right now?
Yes, BarnesandNoble.com,
Okay.
Amazon.com. The book blog here in Tomah bought some
The
books
blog,
from me.
you got
We're
'em?
selling
Okay.
them.
Okay.
And book signings, you get them for half off. And it's a lot of fun. It's a fun hobby that's turned into something more than I thought. It's great.
So
And,
2 books out right now, Chief and Arena, and then 2 more probably. We can look for them
Yeah.
in June of this year? Or
Yeah,
when do you think?
Scoundrel is expected to be released in paperback in June.
Okay.
And it's the 3rd book in the series. And Night, the 4th book, comes out in July. And Scoundrel is set about a year after the events of Arena. And Night is set about a year and a half after the events of Scoundrel.
So if nothing else we've learned today, you're never too old to be an author, are you?
Yeah, and the hero of the book is a 50-something-year-old guy who's no Superman. So you're never too old to be a hero of a book either. Because this guy, he's 50-something, and he's not very tough, but his people who he encounters
Yeah.
are much tougher, but somehow he finds a way to persevere, with help from others too. So.
We're down here at the Tomah Museum on Saturday, the 18th of May, National Museum Day, and also National Museum Week, 15th anniversary of the museum here in Tomah. Roger Blakely, originally from Ohio, now here in Tomah, the author of 2 books, as you can see over his right shoulder, Chief and Arena. They're available at his website and also Barnes & Noble, the blog, and Tomah, a lot of different places. Roger, I know I got to let you go here. The book signing will start shortly. Yeah. Thank you so much for sitting down for us.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
There's a friend of mine from the Army. Hey, Mr. Rifle, come over here. There's an Army guy I work with. Come here. There's some people starting to come. There's a couple Army guys. I thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
She's so beautiful. This nice gentleman just interviewed us for...
Right down here at the Tomah Museum on Saturday, the 18th of May. We just had a chance, Jim Weinzettel, the director, down here to talk with Roger Blakely, who's the author, signing the books today down here. Jim, National Museum Day, I think a lot of people, including myself, may be surprised this museum in Tomah's been here 15 years. You think that would surprise a lot of people?
Oh, I'm sure it would. Time really flies by quickly, and it is 15 years now since Joyce Maids and Frosty decided to establish this nonprofit museum down here in the middle of Tomah. 1998 was the first year, and here we are 15 years later.
For the people that had never been down here, it's really their loss because there's a ton of local stuff down here. What are your hours, Jim?
We're here during the summer, 1st of May through October. We're here on Tuesday through Saturday in the afternoons from 1 o'clock until 4.
What about people? Do you need people to help volunteer? Talk about that for me.
If you're interested in volunteering, we have several volunteer opportunities available. Most of the volunteers help out as being docents. That's a term used for a guide in a museum, and they would welcome people and have them sign our guest register, hand out information, answer questions about the local area if they're from out of town, and show them around the museum if they want help. We also have a self-guided tours sheets that we hand out.
All right, Tomah Museum celebrating their 15th anniversary this year. Jim, where does the money come from to pay the bills, that type of thing? Where do you get your funding from?
Well, most of the funding comes from the generosity of the local people. We have membership dues, and we also have an appeal in the fall, and we also do get some money from grants, but very little, like the Andrews Fund.
So if people want to help you out financially or need more info, how do they get a hold of you?
Just call us down here at the museum, 372-1880.
1880. Thank you so much, Jim. Your title down here officially is director. I did get that correct, right?
That's correct, yeah.
Jim Weinzettel, director down here at the Tomah Museum, celebrating 15 years here in Tomah. Jim, it's National Museum Day. Thank you so much for your time.
Well, thank you for coming down.
Hotel.
I know, it just cracked me up, I loved it.
There you go.
Do you,
Sheet for you.
you take cards here?
No, we cash
only?
or checks.
Oh, I gotta check.
Yeah. Read about these book signings in the paper or hear about it, or you know Jim.
Yeah. We're in NARFE, retired, federal retirees.
And a lot of parts of this books were set in nursing homes. The main character visits nursing homes and World War II vets in these books. They help people now in the 21st century.
And I forget where you're from.
I'm from Ohio originally, but I work here at Fort McCoy.
Oh,
Okay, so in the update, we had a sit-down interview with Roger Blakely, talked with the director down here at the museum, Jim Weinzettel, showed a little video of you signing your books, Roger, and now kind of wrap it up here down in the museum on Saturday, May 18th, National Museum Day and National Museum Month. You're going to make the official book presentation to Jim Weinzettel, so please go ahead.
Yeah, Jim, thank you very much for this opportunity to have the book signing. I'd like to present to you the first two copies in the Artemus Newton Thriller series, Chief, which is set here in Tomah, Fort McCoy area, and the sequel, Arena, second book in the series. Yeah, Scoundrel comes out next month, hopefully in paperback, and then Night, fourth book in the series.
Well, thank
So,
you
yeah,
very much.
Well, thank you for this. It's great.
Well, glad to have you.
Yeah, got a bunch of fellow soldiers and their families here, and some other friends, and some new friends here. Linda came in.
Okay.
Got Chief and Arena.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Really.
I mean, during the week, if you had dashboards with the line away, if it's crazy, how's he doing?
Yeah, Ken and his family came here from Chicagoland, and there's another family coming up here from Oswego, Illinois today later too. You go.
Did you get what you needed?
Yeah. All right.
All right. Do you live in Tomah? Mm-hmm. That's nice. I'm from Wisconsin. I moved in '77.
You see a lot of cows on the way up here today?
Oh, did you?
You saw some cows when
I
you
grew
drove
up,
up here? You drove 4
Cuba
hours
City,
from.
Wisconsin. Are you familiar where that is? So that's
Yeah.
where my parents still from.
Oh, yeah.
So. Yeah.
And you guys are gonna go to water parks today, aren't you? It'd be fun.
I don't know if they like water.
Anyway, Nick is like,
So on this portion of the update, we take you back to last Saturday, the 18th of May, National Museum Day and also National Museum Week. 15th year, 15 years now the museum has been around here in Tomah. Obviously originally founded by Frosty and Joyce Maids, and now Jim Weinzettel, the director, nice enough to talk with us earlier in this update, along with Roger Blakely, who you saw talk with us, and also his book signing. Roger Blakely with 2 books that are currently available. In a moment we'll show you his website if you need some more information. So we take you back to last Saturday on this portion of the update here on the Hagen Sports Network.